Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you come across this video, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes. Everyone who's booking, making purchases off the website, pledges to the Patreon, sending things to the P.O. Box, and purchases off the wish list, and tipping the Clarista. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys so much. Good morning. Let's get some messages, shall we? Actually, I wanted to get some of the, for some reason I wanted to get like a spiritual headline. Some of you have probably seen this before. I have these like little newspaper cards. It's funny, this tween card, when I was like doing the pre-shuffle, it came out in reverse too. So there's, a tween is like that, you know, maybe like 11, 12-year-old. But this would be, with it coming out in reverse a couple of times. I don't know, it's kind of... I'm kind of feeling like it's like somebody that's no longer a little child. But okay, so we have hero shrinks blonde, senior blames tween in reverse here. So, very interesting. They're also saying that you could switch this up of... So, okay, a couple things. There could be like an older person that is blonde, okay, that we could be talking about here. Or I'm not sure how I feel about this hero card. It feels kind of more like somebody coming from an ego, maybe? Like somebody playing hero, right? Like, you know. Anyways, this is the spiritual headline. We'll see kind of what we can get from this. But some of these words just might be significant. But it feels like... somebody is making somebody feel small, basically, is what it is. And they're blaming either their childhood or they're blaming something like, yeah, there's something about that. It definitely has to do with like 12 and under. This could also be like a child that's currently 12 and under. But I feel like it has to do with insecurities, mostly. Somebody is feeling very insecure. And they're, yeah. Yeah, this could have even happened when you were younger, right? You could have been younger. Blonde doesn't have to be in every situation, I don't think, but maybe when you were younger, you could have made, you know, you could have, I don't know, you could have made somebody feel insecure, or, you know, maybe triggered somebody and made them feel, you know, small or something. And oh, shit, sorry guys. Hold on, I've got to go. Hold on. sorry, didn't mean to startle you, Maui. That could have been some sort of confirmation. So, and then they could have blamed you, the child, for something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that, yeah. So, that's, there may be, I feel like, this may actually, something may be coming up about this, within a community or a household or something, especially if this was something that has happened in the past. Um, it makes me feel like, it's possible that other people, when this blame kind of took place, right? It's possible that other people were like, jumped on the bandwagon. It makes me feel like, something may be changing here. Because at the bottom of the deck we have society, new, killer, drops, suspect. Yeah, cruel cop runs off with drugs. Exactly. So it doesn't have to be about those things, but the vibe that it's giving is like somehow this has been brought back up, or it's been made relevant, and people are having a different opinion, whether this is about you or maybe your child, or somebody that there's something about that. But so there could be, I said these are spiritual headlines, so this is something that is probably under judgment at this time. So with that being said, if this is you or somebody else that if this is under judgment, they're kind of giving me the feeling that it's like, the judgment's obviously spiritual court, but so there, you may be kind of picking up on energy from that time, or things may be coming back up from that, or memories, or you get what I'm saying. Like you may be feeling some of the emotions that you could have felt, or again, like memories or something. I don't know, it doesn't have to be like that for everyone, but or like a certain energy, you could kind of feel that as well. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So that's kind of going on. Interesting. Okay, we have empowerment. So that's good. Following that. Okay. Body. Compassion. Aging. Yeah, somebody's not a kid anymore, and I feel like somebody's like, I don't know, awakening to that. I don't know why that's why that's significant. I don't know who's, yeah, we have trust. And we have true offering with self-love and confidence. Yeah, we have ambition as well at the bottom of the deck. I feel like it was the beginning of this week when we did that message, and it was like breaking free from some sort of chains. I really feel like this is kind of associated with that. Okay. These are some of the things that I feel like you could see changing within you, like from an empowered place. I do get the sense some of you may be feeling that there's maybe been a backward step, but I feel like in some instances, maybe not all instances, but I feel like in some instances, our human mind wants us to think that we're taking backward steps, but it it's just a step that maybe is a repeat of the past, but ultimately it was still a step forward. There's something about that. There's something about, kind of changing a perception when it comes to definitely this self-love, on having love for yourself and confidence within every step of your journey, right? Like I don't know, there's something about that, right? Obviously discipline and obedience are very important. We don't want to like lose sight of that, but sometimes um, if this is like a gradual transition, right? Sometimes there's those steps that are, I wish I could explain, it's kind of like just they're thrown in there to kind of, I feel like keep you on your path, but it may not feel that way, but I feel like it's tied into this trust. I'm really drawn to this body card. So I feel like not only are some of you going to just be feeling more confident in your body, the way that you look, the way that you feel, um, like as you are. But I also feel like too, there's for some of you, there's some sort of like I don't know if you've been experiencing. Um, they're saying like aches and pains, or maybe some sort of like physical health problem, or I get the feeling that I don't know, it kind of feels like, like a new bill of health, or like a fresh start, like somebody's healing from something for sure, like within the physical body. Um, they're kind of almost like giving the weight of this like judgment call is pretty heavy. So for some of you, that might be part of the body aches, you know? Um, Compassion. With this like compassion, aging, trust, and true offering, this is kind of the same theme that we've really been talking about for this week, as far as like stepping into a more vulnerable place. Um, which is actually more aligned with what I feel like is unfolding here. Okay. Hmm. But I also feel like too, with these like there's an element of like calling your power back, or this going back to that spiritual judgment here. Whoever was like blamed, if an adult blamed a child for making them feel insecure, right? Obviously, it probably wouldn't come out exactly like that, right? Um, this kind of took some of these. There were certain, I feel like when it comes to your body and your compassion and like trust and like what, I don't know, it feels like there are certain things that are coming back to you through this rebirth is really what it feels like. So this is something that could have been like kind of under judgment for a little bit here. Interesting. Because it could be like, and these would be things, it's like, maybe when all of this kind of started, right? These are things that you kind of like, they're giving like breadcrumbs, right? But eventually you kind of run out of bread, right? So it was like you were like kind of leaving a trail, maybe so you could find your way back or something like that. But it's like at some point you ran out of the loaf, And so it's like not that these things had completely gone, but there's something about, when you connect with your inner child, they're a lot more trusting of the process, right? And, they haven't been through things, and so they can just come through with a lot of compassion, right? And they're very authentic because they, again, it's like, so there's something about, a certain time in your life, like calling back your power back from in certain areas. And it doesn't have to be limited to these things. I feel like too, it could also be like some sort of creativity or, things like that here. But a lot of it has to do with, how you view yourself, like your self-worth, where you fit in. Yeah, I feel like there's also too an energy of like trusting yourself more. Hey, puppy. Okay, Eight of Swords, the Empress, Knight of Wands, the High Priestess, the Fool, Six of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Hmm. With the high priestess being here in the middle of the spread, I feel like you can definitely probably kind of feel or sense that this, you know, that something's under judgment here. There's something um, kind of going on in the spirit. Um, and with this, like all this energy, right? They're kind of giving me the feeling that because you made, or you or somebody else kind of brought out this person's insecurities, they could have been projected onto you, or through giving away your power in some sort, right? um, you kind of picked up on those insecurities, and they may have like built up over time, or because it's almost like this person felt small. I get the sense though that after some time, right? Because I'm not sure that this was like a one time thing, whatever the situation was. Um, and for some people, this person, they didn't, I don't know that they were aware that they were like projecting these things here. They were just reacting from a triggered space, and that doesn't make it okay by any means. Um, but at some point, this person, surely they had to have become aware, and I think that's where this judgment is coming through, because it's like somebody became aware of what they were doing and didn't change it. Didn't accept responsibility, or, didn't take ownership, right? They just, this could have been, something that was going on 20 years ago, and was recently brought up, and, still, you know. um, so that's definitely what this Eight of Swords is giving. It's this projected illusion of being a small mouse in a very big world. Then we've got the Empress with the Knight of Wands. It seems like there's some pretty rapid growth, but along this growth, you're picking up, certain energetic qualities that are, you know, it's like they're coming back to life, or you're calling back that power, or these are things that are just like kind of being activated through like healing, and things like that, with this Empress energy. And then the Knight of Wands here, um, which in this deck, the Knight of Wands is action, right? Drive, and that's like that in a lot of decks, but um, it's not a it's a different vibe than the normal. Anyways, we get it. Moving on. So, yeah, and then we have this High Priestess here. So there's kind of this energy of like, waiting for the right time, knowing when to take action and what action to take. because I get the sense, right, that there's, you're probably coming out of some sort of energy, and these actions or these changes or these, can be big or small. But there's this energy of like feeling secure and knowing that you're like not on this journey completely alone. Some of you may still be kind of in isolation or, hermit mode, or, maybe not around a lot of people, but there, with this trust here, it's really trusting in the divine, the universe, and God, source, whatever you prefer. Um, and, you know, um, It's like with this kind of being under judgment, it's almost like um, and this energy of, kind of calling back your power here, and these certain things kind of coming back to life. And again, it's not to say that they were completely obsolete, right? Not to say that you were not compassionate or that you were, but they're, um, you know, terrible at taking care of your body, or, just different things. It's just to say that there's a version of you that wasn't active within you, within your spirit, that is coming back to life. And they add an extra oomph into all of these areas that really help you like move forward here. And I kind of feel like there's an energy about becoming maybe like more observant or more aware that a lot of the people and places and things that you meet, and we know this, right? We're aware of this. We understand that they are mirroring, a piece of us or a version of ourselves, or, whether it be past, present, future, whatever it is. But there's a deeper understanding, which I feel like is kind of, associated with this like childlike compassion. Not that like children are necessarily completely aware of that. I think probably, I don't think I was, but moving forward they probably will be. But there's again, there's something with this situation that had you closing off all of these things, right? Little bits, like getting further away from them, bits and bits, little by little. Um, and it seems to be returning. It seems to be like, and it feels like, so I say all this to say I feel like, there was a reading that I started to do yesterday, and some things happened, and I was like, okay, it's not the right time. All right. And basically the message was, and it's funny because there was a lot about solar plexus. So there was, a return of power and will and drive and motivation and passion. Um, and also it was overcoming some sort of adversity, having success over some sort of adversity. And I feel like that's what this is associated with. Um, they're saying too, it's like with this energy of moving forward, knowing that you're not walking alone, right? That you have a whole divine team. This is actually going to attract a lot of your, soul family here in the physical. And Five of Wands, right? They're. I say this all the time. Life is going to life. It's not always going to be perfect, but they're kind of saying that like part of your true offering is overcoming those challenges. Part of your purpose is moving through those. Nobody wants to say that you can, moving through terrible life experiences gracefully is my superpower. It wouldn't be your only one, but like, man, what a superpower. But, when the world, when we're in a time in the world where people are, it seems like a lot of people are moving through very challenging times, kind of being that whether it's quiet or out loud, it's still felt through the collective energy, right? So but yeah. Yeah, they're saying, things are going to start moving pretty quickly. You still, there, this could still be kind of going on. It is clearly still in the energy here, and you could still be kind of slowly reclaiming, this power. Because I do feel like there is a space of you kind of, maybe this is something that's been coming up for you and like in your internal work, or maybe meditations or things like that recently, um, or maybe there's just been something that you're like, I know that this is like an energy I need to work through. What is the root of this? And this may help you get to that here. Yeah. I feel like there may still be some things. Oh, look, we have the Wheel of Fortune here with the Queen of Cups, peace and compassion, and the Magician with the willpower and creation, right? That's, yeah. I like this. So there, yeah, it with this Three of Swords, release and recovery, it does feel like Ten of Pentacles. So this could have been somebody in your family here, right? Yeah, this is what's going on. It's like a continuance, like maybe like a deeper dive into like breaking these chains here that we were talking about at the beginning of the week. But I do feel like some of you kind of already took your own like deeper dive on this, because for some of you it's like this, these shifts forward are coming. For some of you, like you're kind of in the middle of it, like, or like, I don't know, maybe you've already started like taking steps and things are going to start moving quickly. Some of you, it's like maybe, and it would make sense that if, we're still in, some retrograde energy here. So it would make sense if this wasn't happening just quite yet. As far as the external world, there could be a lot of things changing within you, though. It's like pieces of you that you may have thought you lost are coming back to life in certain ways. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, Tink. Exactly. So, sweet. All right. Well, that's good news. Um, you know, my finger's itching. Weird. But anyways, okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna jump and continue to go on about this day. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Um, got it, Michelle. Will do. I love you guys so very much. All of you very, very much. And something about ones and sixes. There's a lot of ones and sixes and fours on my screens. So those might be significant. Just saying. But anyways, okay. Love you guys. We'll see you later.